Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another outstanding episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, That Ocean Crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. You see, today we have a special event going on later on today, and I'm talking about WWE NXT Heatwave. That's right. Before the summer's over, we have one more great event from WWE that's gonna take place. And man, am I excited for these matches that we have coming up. We have 6 great matches. Each of them have a story behind them, and I'm pretty sure each of them are going to have us at the edge of our seats. So, with that being said, um, here we go. So before I get into the card, I was looking at our Instagram page at NXT Heatwave 2024, last year's NXT Heatwave, and I was like, wow, how things have changed. I mean, it is just so crazy. I mean, I remember last year Roxanne Perez was on the cover, was on the poster, and now look at her now. She's over in Europe doing a tour. And I gotta say, man, it just goes to show you never know where somebody's gonna be. So I'm very happy for her. And you know, I mean, you still have the same competitors from last year on this year. You know, you still have, Ethan Page, Lola Vice. I'm surprised they haven't moved them up yet. Well, Axiom Fraxium, as they're now known, they're no longer on NXT. They're on, SmackDown. Chase University broke up and then reformed with new students, but Thea Hale is still there. The rest of Chase U is they're pretty much, gone. They pretty much no longer WWE. Wesley is still in NXT. Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovic, they're still in NXT. JC Jane back then was, last year was in a tag team with Jasmine Nix. And her tag team actually lost that match, but now look at her now. She's a double champion. It's crazy. Kalani Jordan, she was she's still in NXT. Sol Ruka. Actually she was defending her championship against Sol Ruka. And now this year, Sol Ruka is the NXT North American champion. So it's just crazy. It's crazy how big of a difference 1 year can make in pro wrestling. But let's not live in the past. Let's look to the present and the future. And with that being said, we have 6 great matches, happening. And this event is actually taking place in Lowell, Massachusetts. Shout out to the great folks over in Massachusetts. I was actually there last year. I might be over there next week because I'm as most of you know by now, I'm doing a Major League Baseball ballpark tour where I'm doing the tours for I'm trying to do the tours for every ballpark in America. And I just got done doing one for Citi Field, which is the home of the New York Mets, and before that for Yankee Stadium, which is the home of the New York Yankees. So next up is going to be Fenway Park, which is where I'll be trying to tour next. So okay, so the first match we have, let's get into this. The first match we have, man, this match is going to be hard hitting. This match is going to have a lot of passion behind it, because both people, well, particularly one competitor, she was wronged by somebody she trusted. She initially didn't trust, but then eventually grew to trust. And then that person eventually ended up, turning on her. And the person who got turned on was, Jordan Grace. And the person who, who did the betraying was Blake Monroe. So we have Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe in a singles match. These two women are finally gonna, meet head on. And in all honesty, I know Jordan Grace has the power and the strength advantage. You know, she's been a champion before, but so has Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe was a former AEW Women's Champion. You know, Jordan Grace was a former TNA Knockouts champion. Honestly speaking, though, I have a new respect for Blake Monroe because Blake Monroe, this woman actually bled in her match against Toni Storm. Like she actually bled in her match against Toni Storm. And if you ask me, that match is actually a classic, and it'll definitely that whole feud was a classic, and it's definitely one to remember. And you know, I always look back at that match as, and a lot of y'all, this for my golden era film industry aficionados. If you had Marilyn Monroe and um Jane Mansfield, who was Marilyn Monroe's rival in the film industry, if you put them in a wrestling match, that's the match you would have had. That's the kind of match. That's what you would have gotten. That's what Toni Storm versus Blake Monroe remind me of. You know, Marilyn Monroe. If Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield having that rivalry. So if those two were to get if those two were to get it on the ring, this is the kind of match this kind of match I'm pretty sure they'd have in a wrestling ring. A good old fashioned knockdown drag out, you know. But I'm gonna have to give Blake Monroe this edge because this is their first meeting, and I think Blake Monroe is gonna do something shady and get the win. Now, don't get me wrong, for athleticism and everything, Jordan Grace has it, and she might pull out the win. But I have a feeling that this first meeting is gonna be all Blake Monroe. So that's what I'm going with. So the next match we have is a tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Man, I'm sorry for these two guys. So we have the defending tag team champions, Hank and Tank, which are the team of Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, defending their titles against two members of Dark State. Now, Dark State comprises of Dion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, Saquon Sugars, and Cutler James. So it could be either combination of those four men. Honestly speaking, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna go with Dark State. I think Dark State is gonna get those belts. I don't see Hank. I think the fairy tale is gonna be over for Hank and Tank. They are. I mean, it doesn't even matter if they're fighting two out of four of those men. They're gonna fight all four in this match, unless they have some backup. It's gonna be you know, it's gonna be all Dark State for the win. So I'm gonna go with Dark State for this one. And if you ask me, I really and truly, if they do end up winning these titles, I really and truly hope that they end up, you know, going forward and getting, you know, all the belts in NXT. Well, for the males, because I always say, if you really want a good stable, like the best of stables, you put all the tag team titles on them. The Four Horsemen did it. Evolution did it. Shield did it for the most part, even though there was only three of them. So I hope. Oh, I forgot. The Undisputed Era did it too. You had Fatal Attraction that did it. They held when it was just the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. They had all the women's titles. That's what makes a stable the best of the best, when they have all the belts. So then in turn that means it's all about them. So I hope that they do that with Dark State. You know, I hope they don't waste another stable, because I've seen some stables have some good potential and they got wasted. So I'm gonna go with Dark State to get this win. So all right, so the next match we have is a triple threat match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. It's the defending champion JC Jane versus Masha Slamovich versus Ash by Elegance. Man, I honestly, okay, I really want JC Jane to actually retain, and then I really hope that is it I keep getting their name. I keep mistaking that. Okay, I keep mistaking. Um. Okay, fatal. Okay. Let me correct myself when I said when I was talking about stables. Toxic Attraction did it. I keep getting those two mixed up. I don't know for the life of me. I don't know why. Toxic Attraction. they did. They were the ones to hold all the titles when it was just the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. They did that, right? Now, what I'm hoping for, I'm hoping that JC Jane retains, and I hope that afterwards, Fatal Influence, the rest of the members, um, you know, Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley, I hope they end up, actually going after those TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships and doing a repeat of what they did, a few years ago. I think they have a lot of potential. I mean, they're showing themselves right now. So I would like JC Jane to retain, but I have a feeling that tonight Masha Slamovich is going to walk out the new champion. I don't think it's going to be Ash by. Although it would be, I wouldn't mind Ash by Elegance getting the win because then the Elegance band would have all the women's titles in TNA, which would be good. But I have a feeling this is Masha Slamovich's time. She's going to walk away with that championship. All right, so the next match we have is another triple threat, and this triple threat match is to determine the number one competitor for the NXT Women's Championship. It's going to be Jada Parker versus Kelani Jordan versus Lola Vice. I'm going to have to go with. Oh man, this is a tough one. Tough. Jada Parker has a lot of star power behind her. She's never held a title before. So does Lola Vice. She has a lot of star power behind her. She's never held a title. Kelani Jordan, we know she can go to distance. This woman is a definite star. I'm gonna be brave and say that Kelani's gonna get this win. I'm gonna be brave and say that. I think it's time. Kelani has shown that, her fiance, Carmelo, you know, um, Carmelo Hayes. He has actually shown that he is him. What I could tell you right now, over the past year, Kelani Jordan has shown that she is her. So I'm gonna go with Kelani Jordan to get this win. I'm gonna predict that she's gonna get the win, and she's gonna go on to face JC Jane for that women's championship. All right. So, but honestly speaking, even if she doesn't win, I wouldn't be mad because, like I said, Jada Parker has been phenomenal. She's fought for an NXT Women's Championship before. Lola Vice has too. All three of these women are phenomenal, and in all honesty, I'm looking forward to when they make it to the main roster. So the next match we have is a mixed tag team match, and it's going to be the team of Chelsea Green and Ethan Page, accompanied by, the Secret Hervis, which is Alba Fire and Piper Niven, going up against Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights, two people who have an extensive background in amateur wrestling. I don't think, I know Ethan Page is a multi-year, he's an over 10-year veteran. Chelsea Green is too. I don't think they are ready for these two. I don't think they know what's about to hit them. More specifically, Chelsea Green, because I know Ethan Page, he used to be in a tag team with, of course, I'm sure we all know this now. He used to be in a tag team with Josh Alexander, who who has a background in amateur wrestling. So I'm sure he might have an idea of what he's going up against. I don't think Chelsea Green does, though. And they're going to learn today. But I'm going to go with Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights picking up this win. I think it's going to end up that way. There's no stopping these two. They're going to end up picking up that win. So the next match we have, the final match, the main event of NXT Heatwave that we have is going to be the defending champion. It's a singles match for the NXT Championship, and it's going to be the defending champion, Obafemi, defending his title against Javon Evans, the man who keeps it bouncy. Well, I gotta say, I've been highly impressed with Javon Evans ever since he started. The guy is young. He has a chance to be, the youngest NXT champion. Period. Because, well, no, maybe not the youngest. I think Paige held the title when she was 20. So, but he has the chance to become the youngest NXT champion, NXT men's champion. If he's able to beat Obafemi. But that's easier said than done because Obafemi is a beast. And I hope if they put this guy on the main roster, they don't mess him up. Because honestly speaking, man, it seems, and like I said, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I mean, I could say because I'm part of the community. I feel like, once black talent goes to the main roster, they get stuck in some tag team, in some match that doesn't really benefit them. That's how I feel, And I'm not trying to sound any way, but I just got to call a spade a spade. I mean, and when I look at certain people, like Apollo Crews, great athlete, gets called up, they do nothing with him. I mean, the New Day got lucky, but then again, the New Day, we all know how many years they had to wait. So, in all honesty, though, but like I said, I'm hoping for the best, and I'm hoping that when he goes up there, that they actually do right by this guy, because this guy has so much marketability, man. Like Obafemi has so much going for him: the power, the athleticism. The guy is great on the mic. I really and truly hope that he does not end up being stuck in catering or stuck in some tag team match or like Melo. Like we all know Melo's good. We all know Carmelo Hayes is that damn good. He is him. But we'll see. So Javon Evans has a lot of charisma to him too, but I think this is their first one-on-one. I know he's going to show out, but I'm gonna have to go with Obafemi. Obafemi is definitely going to end up retaining. That's what I see. And still NXT champion Obafemi. That's what I'm gonna go with. But it's gonna be a hell of a fight. So that was the card for NXT Heatwave. Those were my predictions. General predictions. I don't have any general predictions right now, like I normally would, like who would return, or what alliances are gonna break up and so on. I don't have any general predictions right now, but I know this is going to be definitely a great card to watch, and I'm definitely looking forward to looking at it tonight, to watching it tonight. So, y'all make sure y'all check out this card too. Lots of great matches. Even if you don't watch NXT, make sure you watch it tonight, because this card is a very interesting card. So with that being said, that's it. We're gonna try to have some polls on Twitter, where you can actually, predict who you think is gonna win or who you think is gonna lose or whatnot. We're gonna try to have those on Twitter later on today, or X as they call it, later on today. But yeah, those are my predictions. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. It's nice outside today. and my stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for breakfast and to see what's going on outside. Take a walk, touch some grass, whatnot. But I just want I just want to thank you by tuning live today. Actually, we really truly appreciate it. We don't do this for clout. We do this for y'all. We do this for the community, and we're not gonna stop doing that. We're not gonna stop being one of the best and one of the realest wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And if y'all want to follow me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the Remy Blue. Actually, TikTok, if you want to find some cool spots in New York to eat at or just check out, um, definitely follow me on TikTok. I'm also on Blue Sky at RemyBlue.bsky.social. I'm also on Facebook as you guessed it, Remy Blue. And our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky all across the board at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we sell our official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have hoodies, we even have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. So we have 3 designs up right now. We have more coming soon. So definitely check us out. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool episodes like this one, like our episodes before this with the Macho Verse and Camel Clutch cosplay. You can find all those great episodes on YouTube. And to see them, it's really simple. It's not even pre-algebra. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. I want you to see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it. That's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, once again, thank you for listening to us. We really and truly appreciate it. And to those of you that are going to listen later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. So I'm gonna say this right now. Another thing, we're very well aware. Myself and the rest of the crew at Ringside Society, we know everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. I mean, I went to WrestleCon, a few weeks back, and I saw a lot of podcasters there. We get it, but guess what? We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. So I'm going to say it right now. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for NXT Heatwave. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back next week with another impressive guest, another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.